Hi, Tracey here from MiniScenes again. Now, don't adjust your set. This mould really is enormous. Look, this is a standard coaster mould. As you can see, even the centre is way bigger than that. This is about the size of a dinner tray, I suppose. It's bigger than a dinner plate. What I want to do with it is a big tray to go on my dining table, and I'm going to use white, grey, possibly a bit of black, red, kind of to go with my dining room, particularly to go with the colours of the curtains. I'll put a picture of the curtains on later if you're interested, but I'm going to go with bubbles, I think. So if you watch this space if you want to see how I get on with a whopping great big mould. So here we go then. I thought what I'd do is work with some metal circles, predominantly in silver. I'm going to make these my bubbles, because although, you know, bubbles are quite an aquatic theme, and the dining room does also house my fish tank, I still want to use red and black. Anyway, I think circles go in any colours anyway. I don't know, we'll see what happens. I've got these in the silver ones in different sizes, and I thought just to break it up a little bit we'd have a few gold ones too. Now this is going to be my tray, so I might as well use the surface on here as my base, I suppose. I don't know, perhaps better not, just in case I damage it. So I'm going to lift these all off, and we're going to put them onto, isn't it lovely how everything sticks to silicone? I'm going to put them onto the my rubber mat. Now, the idea with these will be that I will use them like I would use an open back bezel. So the first job's going to be to stick them onto some resin tape. So I won't bore you with all of that on screen. Just grabbing my tape. What I'm going to do is the first bit, if I can get into this roll of tape, and then I will show you, I'll do just one, and then the rest, you know, you can use your imagination, because it will be exactly the same process all across. Now, this resin tape is good stuff. I am pretty sure you could probably use masking tape or anything really, but I thought we'd use the proper stuff for this. So all I'm going to do initially is get these all stuck down onto the tape. So first of all I'm going to cut the end off. This is a brand new roll, as you can see. There's the little bit off the end. And this is the fiddly bit, is getting it to stick down flat and get it off your finger. So what I tend to do is fold the end over and stick it down to the mat, and then I can just pull it across, snip it off, and Bob's your uncle. Right, so as you can see that's going to lie pretty flat. It's just that end that's got a little bit of a bump where I folded it over to stick it down. You're over to one side because of course I'm going to work my way across with them all. But all you do is pop your rings down onto your tape, same as you would an open back bezel. I'll do the same with the gold ones. And then the trick to pressing these down is, first of all, press them like this, but what you don't want to do is end up with a load of fingerprints on your tape. So the easiest way to do it is to get a stir stick. I've got some lollipop stick type ones here. Lay it across them and press like that. You should get a nice even press without leaving fingerprints all over the rings. So I'm going to do the rest of them the same. I'm going to stand something on that end to make sure it stays flat. Hang on a minute. There we go, done. So I'll do the same with the rest of them off camera, and then we'll come back and see what I put in them. I've now got some resin mixed up. I've got all the essentials to hand. Got my gloves on, mask, goggles. Anybody who saw my short video about what happened to my eyes recently from reacting to resin will understand how important it is to have goggles and everything. I managed to do that to myself when I took my goggles off, so we're being careful. So I'm mixing up the resin. I have got plenty of little pots here to mix my colours in. I've got an assortment of pigments to play with, and the most important ingredient of all, because this is quite late on a Saturday night, a gin and tonic. Cheers. Now you can say I've had a drink with you all. So just mixing this up in the pot. I'm not too worried if there's a few bubbles. To be honest, if bubbles transfer to these, I'm not too worried. It's a bubble theme, even if the colours are a bit weird for bubbles. Of course I could have done it to match my fish tank, couldn't I? There's a thought. Right, popping my stirrer down over there, and let's get some colours mixed up. Right. Again, I'll do the first few of these and then I'll do the rest off camera because I don't want to bore you stupid watching me pouring things. But these little paper cups, I can squeeze them, and I'm going to start up in the top corner here, and I'm just going to put a little dot in the middle. These are going to be quite thin. I'm only going to go, just basically fill the rings up. Oops. And I've dripped. So basically that's what I'm going to do. I tell you what, I'll leave it on camera and I'll just fast forward the hell out of it. So here we go, into fast forward. Oops, making a mess. Right, so there we go, they're all filled up. I've mixed up too much resin, clearly, so I'm going to, once I've made sure that all of these are topped right up to the brim, I will be tipping what's left into a random mould. I bet we all do that, don't we? Have random moulds on standby just in case. So yes, in fact I'll be pouring it into my big weird frog, I think. Well, why not? That's what I say. So I'll see you in the morning for the demould, because it will take until then for this lot to all dry, I should imagine. Normally does. We'll give it overnight, and then we'll see what we've got, and then decide just how I play this in terms of putting it into the tray, which is all quite exciting, isn't it? There we are. Okay, so I'll see you in the morning. So here's my little circles. Now, some of them parted company with the ring, but you know, I don't mind that. Let's have some that are just a ring and some that are just a circle without the ring. There's only, what, 3 of them affected? 2 or 3, yeah, so not a problem. So what I'm going to do now is scoop them all up. I'm going to get the big mould out, and I will just put just a very thin layer of just clear normal resin in the bottom, and all down the sides, so that these, when I lay them in, won't be right on the surface. So that'll be our next step. So all I'm doing now then is just getting that base coat across this. I want some all the way around the sides as well. Don't forget, we're looking at the back of our piece here. So what I'm putting down is going to be the front. And I didn't really want the little coloured spots, coloured bubbles or whatever you want to call them, to be right onto the surface. Equally, I didn't want to have to top coat it if I can help it. Still might have to, but who knows. Now what I'm going to do is put the bubbles in at different depths. So some I am going to put in now. So they will be straight onto this coat, which won't completely cover, it's too thin to completely cover. So there's going to be like negative space in it, but that doesn't matter. This is only that first coat, and it is just start settling the first lot of the bubbles in. Because what we're going to end up with, I hope, is a slightly sort of smoky effect when I put the remaining the back coats on. But with this initial coat, it is just to get something laid down between the bubbles and the mould, really. So I don't want too much actually in the channel either. I'm going to get some heat under this, which will make it initially thinner, which should spread it well. But like I said, if there are some little negative spots, that's fine. Just pulling some of that back out of the channel, but it's going to end up back in there. That's okay. So we've got a fairly decent coverage there. So you know how if you mix too much resin up, you've always got a little side thing on the go? Today, rather than a mould, it's for me, it's a tiddly little waterfall, because I've had an order come in for one of those. Now, I'm going to grab some of these bubbles, don't know what else to call them, so let's call them bubbles. And I think I'm going to put what was the underneath downwards. Some of them, as you can see, a little bit translucent, because I do want some of them on this layer. Now, if I end up trapping some air under them, I'm kind of slapping them down diagonally, so I'm hoping not. But if I do end up with some air underneath them, well, I'll just have to top coat it from the other side when the time comes. But that'll be easy because it'll be concave. But I'm hoping kind of not, really. Oh, let's have one of the ones that hadn't got the rim round it. So these are just my kind of top layer of the little bubbles. Popping them on a little bit randomly. I'm not too worried that the finish on them isn't that great. Doesn't matter because they are going to be encapsulated in the resin. This one here, you can see I've gone slightly over the edge with the red, the dark red resin. Doesn't matter, I've just put that on the bottom because it's facing up. That'll be our bottom. Oh, I know, let's put one of the hollow ones in there. That will do for this layer. And like I said, I'm not worried that there's negative space starting to appear here and there. Really doesn't matter. It was just to get a coat down underneath some of these, which only needs to be thin. So just pushing them down, and I'm going to get some heat under it and we'll leave it for a while. And we'll put the next layer and start working it up. And it's in the next layers that I'll be starting to work a little bit of colour in around the edges to make the background. Right, next layer's going in now. This is pretty much set up. So where we're going with this one is I'm going to pour around the edges, give a big swirl in the middle, and then what I'm wanting to do, once I've got a bit of a coverage in here, is to start bringing in some kind of background colour, but only around the edges. So I'm just getting some onto here for now. Then I'm going to mix up another cupful, which will have a little bit of pigment in it. I'm thinking probably white mica, because I'm wanting to get like a white fading to a bit of black around the edges too, I think. That's the way we're going to go. I'm already filling up around the edges more than I wanted to. Pull some back out. Right, so another cupful coming up, and I'll be going in then with the mica in it as well. And here we go. So we've got a subtle pearl, it's still quite translucent, and this is what's going to go around the edges. It should start to sort of blend into the clear in the centre. That's the theory. Let's see what happens. Obviously I want some of this to get down into the what will be the lip of the tray as well. I mean, that's where I want most of it. I'm wondering actually, I might not bother with any of the smoke effect. I might stick with just the white. I don't know, I'm going to have to think on this. This is one of these things that my brain will be whirring overnight and I won't be able to sleep because I'll be thinking about colours. Is that sad or what? I think that's sad, isn't it? Makes a change because my brain's usually thinking about guinea pigs or cars, so it's nice to be in craft mode. Heck, it's a lot better than it used to be. My brain used to be full of thinking about insurance, financial planning and things like that. I am not missing having a proper job. I'm missing the company car, not missing anything else. For anyone who doesn't know, I was made redundant at the age of 52. Felt like the end of the world at the time, but the redundancy money paid off our mortgage and put us in a position where as soon as I hit 55 and I could draw on my old company pension scheme, woohoo! So all I did in that 3-year gap was, well, we had COVID. I was self-employed kind of part-time for a little bit, running live online training courses in insurance and messing about at the British Motor Museum, which is awesome. So now, then we had COVID, and now I am spending I don't know, up to 10 days, 12 days sometimes, no more than that anyway, a month at the British Motor Museum as a museum assistant. Best place in the world to work if you're a petrol head. And frankly, even if you're not, I think it is. And yeah, messing about doing this the rest of the time. Pretty awesome, to be honest. Loving it. Right then, so I'm going to put some more of the circles in now. And some of these have stuck together. You know what? I'm going to leave them that way. Really shouldn't have just chucked them all in a pile over here, should I? I think they're kind of, they're onto something, aren't they? They know what they're doing. There's one that wants to come out of its circle. They didn't stick to the circles as well as I thought they would. I'm sure as hell stuck to each other well though. This red, I think it hadn't cured properly, and I don't know why. Just going to pop him back in the circle there. So as you can see, some of these are going to be behind the white that I've just put in. Some will be in front of it. And this was the idea, to try to get a bit of a 3D-ness to it. Which way up with that one? Let's go that way up. I'm quite liking that they've stuck to each other, although that really wasn't what I had planned. Never mind. These things, you know, happy accidents and all that. Just trying to decide where to put some of these. I think this is going to be rather gorgeous, at least I hope it is. The last coat that will go on will have a lot more of the white in it, to just pass behind these ones that I'm putting in now. It's already getting quite full, so the last layer isn't going to be particularly hefty. So that was all quite random, as you can see. Pushing them around a little bit. Yeah, that's all of them in. So again, leaving that to cure up, and then we'll put the last coat in on the back with more of the white in it, maybe a little bit of sparkle, I think. Yeah, I think I'm going to do that rather than the smoke effect. Well, I could put a bit of a smoke effect in the middle. Oh, I don't know, I'm still thinking about this. So, I'll see you for the... I've just knocked my pens over. I'll see you for the next stage in the morning when this is all cured up. Okay gang, it's demould time. Now, I couldn't decide whether to put black on the back of this or just go with clear. It needs something because it's still below the rim of the mould, and there's some of these circles are still raised. I have put another layer of colour on the back. It's just a very light mix of a very pale silver and some sparkle. So let's see what this looks like. My inclination was to, you know, put the black or something on the back while it's still in the mould, because that would be easier. But I want to see what it looks like first. I'm thinking still I might need the black to add some drama to it, but we'll see. I'm going to have to get it out and then coat the back if I think that's the way to go. But a simple black top coat wouldn't be too much of a pain to do. So we're getting it out of the mould now. It's coming out really nicely. This wasn't an expensive mould either for a big one. Okay, so here's the back. Just looks kind of weird and interesting. Right, let's go for it. Oh, Oh, I like it. I don't know whether you do or not, but I rather like that. Now, I don't know whether it needs the black on the back or not. What I am liking is, strangely, I've got a bubble there that I like, which is good because it seems to have got sealed under the resin. I like that some of these I've got the sparkle layer going over them. I like that some look deeper down than others in it. That's all good. That's what I was hoping for. Now, do I add black to the back or not? I'm thinking to add silver to the rim. I ended up with a weird crinkle in it. Isn't that lovely? That must be from the way that the mica was behaving. Isn't that odd? This leaves me with a dilemma. I really don't know whether to put the black on the back or not. I think I will. So this is going to be a case of a very simple top coat with some black. So let's do this in fast forward. I'll be using some pretty standard black pigment in my usual 1:1 resin, and we'll just give it a thin coat and hope it all stays in place so I don't end up with too much faffing about or going over the edges, because I could tape the edges, but I don't really want to. I'm going to try without it because there is a bit of a raise on these edges anyway. Don't know. Yeah, I don't really want to do that because I kind of want it to dome neatly, which if I tape it, it won't. Okay, so let's try that. I'll do it in fast forward so you can just see what happens, and then we'll be back for the demould. Well, not demould, the reveal. I suppose that's the word. Here we go then. Right then folks, let's see what's happened. I've just been cleaning the back of this up a little bit. It's got a little bit fingerprinty, but there we go. Look, cleaned up fine. All looks a bit weird on the back because it did dip in the middle while it was curing. However, ta-da! I'm pleased with that. It's still slightly tacky here and there, so I'm going to handle with care for a little while, and I can hear as I wipe round there's a little, don't know why, but it's a little bit of a rough edge there, so I'll sand that a bit. I don't think I'll go around the edges with silver. I was going to go around here with silver, but I think it's rather nice as it is, and I quite like its little imperfections, like there's a weird random bubble there. I quite like that. Not that I can do anything about it unless I get a syringe and inject into it, but I'm not that bothered. Yes, I like it. I like it. So there we are. I'll post a photo later of it looking splendid on air dye. Tell you what, when I've tackled this little rough bit, I'm just going to run a little craft knife around there, I think. So there we are. Dramatic, shimmery, red, grey and black. Go great with my curtains, that will. There we are. Thank you for watching, folks. I'll be posting up a load more videos soon. I haven't been very prolific lately because obviously I had that horrible swelling thing go on with my face. I did think I'd make a load more videos during that period that didn't have my face in them, but I was really struggling because somehow along the line I ended up with a really sore thumb from something too, and my first finger. If you can see that, but there's a really, that's healing now, there's a really sore bit under there, all to do with the resin. Even though I wear gloves, I'd obviously I'd slipped up somewhere. Anyway, I've got a whole load of plans coming up, including, as Valentine's Day is coming up soon, it's early January as I record this, so we'll be doing a load of Valentine stuff, really easy makes, and you guys all asked for more resin creations, resin techniques and jewellery, so I'm going to combine all of those into a Valentine's Day special series of short videos, or don't know, might be one long one and some short ones. We'll see how it goes. Anyway, thank you all for watching, and do subscribe if you haven't already. Thank you so much to those who already have. Note that when I put out the Valentine's Day videos, with one of them there will be a free access to a little SVG cut file that I've made to produce little cards to display the hearts on that I'll be making. So that will be in the members area. Sorry, the community area. So those of you who subscribe, you will get a notice when I post that up as well. So I'll see you all soon for the next one. Enjoy your crafting.